New to all, welcome to Soumya Tutorials. Class is your first semester NEP syllabus Introduction to C Programming. This is the session number 3, Chapter 1 Introduction to C Programming. First, let me know about C Programming basic concepts. So, what are some of the basic concepts which are including in the C programming? So, basically, C is the procedural-oriented programming language, and it is also example for an high-level programming language. The first concept in the C programming, C character set. So, what are the character set? The C programming language, it provides support for some of the following type of characters. So some of the characters which are including here: digits, alphabets, special character. In the C programming language, the character set refers to a set of all the valid characters that we can use in the source program for forming the words, expressions, and also the numbers, so that the source character set contains all the characters that we want to use for the source program text. For example, here we have to using the sum of the valid characters that we can use in a C languages, which are: first is digits. Digits, it contains 0 to 9 numbers. Second, alphabets. Alphabet, it contains both the uppercase letter A to Z and lowercase letter A to Z. And the third character is the special character. For example, at symbol, dollar symbol, percentage symbol, flower brackets, dot, comma, star, cap symbol, ampersand symbol, etc. These are all some of the examples for the special characters. So character set, it contains all the valid characters that we can use in the source program for forming the words, expressions, and also the numbers, which are digits, alphabets, and also special characters. Next, we move on to the next slide here. C tokens. So what are tokens? The smallest individual units are known as tokens. In other words, the smallest individual units in our programs are called as tokens. In C programming has 6 types of tokens, which are identifiers, keywords, constants, strings, special symbols, operators. These are all the sum of the different 6 types of tokens. The first token is an identifier. So what is identifier? Identifiers refers to the name of variables, constants, functions, and also arrays. So identifiers refers to the names of variables, constants, functions, and also arrays. So these are user-defined names is called as identifier. These identifiers are defined against a set of rules. So this is the definition of an identifier. Identifiers refers to the names of what are that variables, constants, functions, and also arrays. So these are all the user-defined names. So these are all we can call it as the identifiers. Some of the rules for forming an identifier. So what are the rules are present here? The first is an identifier can only have alphanumeric characters and also the underscore. The first thing is that an identifier, it can only have alphanumeric characters. So which are uppercase letter A to Z and also lowercase letter A to Z and also a digits and underscore. Second, rule is the first character of an identifier, it can only contain an alphabet. The first character of an identifier can only contain alphabet. Either it is uppercase letter or it is a lowercase letter or underscore. The first character, it should be only an alphabet or an underscore. Third rule is identifiers are also a case sensitive in the C programming, which means that the uppercase letters and the lowercase letters are different. Fourth rule is keywords are not allowed to be used as an identifier. That means the keyword should not be used as an identifier. Rule number 5. No special characters such as a semicolon, period, that means dot, white spaces, slash or comma. These are all permitted to and they used in or as an identifier. Sixth rule is the C compiler. It recognizes only the first 31 characters of an identifier. So that is, it has an reasonable length. So these are all the some of the rules for forming an identifier. So these are all the some of the examples for an identifiers. So what are the valid characters are here? So what are the invalid characters are here? So valid examples for the identifiers which are STD name, that is an student name. So second valid is an valid identifier is an SUP. The third is an total marks. So fourth one is an temp. So all the valid characters, it should be satisfied for some of the rules for forming an identifier. The second thing is that your invalids which are return dollar symbol string and one record underscore std name dot y2k. These are all the some of the invalid identifiers. Next, we move on to the next slide here. The second token is an keywords. So what is a keyword? The keywords is a reserved words. Reserved words means these are all predefined words. All the keywords have the fixed meaning. That means we cannot change the meaning of these words, so that we can call it as the reserved words. So that the keywords is also called as the reserved words because we cannot change the meaning of these words. The keyword serves as a basic building blocks of an programming statements, so that all the keywords must be written in the lowercase letters, and a list of 32 keywords in the C languages which are, these are all the some of the examples for the 32 keywords in our C language: auto, break, is, can, wants, continue, etc. These are all the sum of the examples for the keywords. So here the keyword should not be used as the variable name and also the constant name. So these are all the some of the characteristics of the keywords. So definition is that the keyword is a reserved word. All the keywords have a fixed meaning. That means that we cannot change the meaning of these words, so that we can call it as the reserved word. Next, we move on to the next token is constant. So constant means it is a fixed. The constants refer to any fixed values that do not change during the value execution of a program. The constants refer to fixed values that do not change during execution of a program. In other words, the constants are the fixed values. These values cannot be changed during the execution of the program. This is also a definition of the constant. Note that the constants are also called as the literals. So here the diagrammatic representation of the classification of the constants. So C supports the several kinds of a constant. It can be categorized into the two different types. One is the numerical constant, one more is the character constant. The numerical constant can furthermore classified into integer constant and also the real constant. And one more is the character constant can furthermore classified into single character constants and also the string constants. Types of constants. So here there are the 5 different types of the constants: integer constants, real or the floating point constants, character constants, string constants, backslash character constants. These are the 5 different types of constants. The first type is that integer constant. So integer means these are all the whole numbers without the decimal point. So in other words, an integer constant is the numeric constant without any fractional or exponential part. This type of a constant is called integer. Basically, integer constants are the whole numbers without the decimal point. There are 3 different types of integer constants in the C programming, which are decimal constant, octal constant, hexadecimal constants. So decimal constants are represented as a base 10, octal constants are represented as a base 8, hexadecimal constants are represented as a base 16. For example, decimal constants are represented as a 0 or a -9 or 22, etc. Because the decimal constants are represented either it is in positive value or it is in the negative value without the decimal fraction. Second one, octal constants, the examples which are 021, 077, 033, etc. So all the octal constants are preceded by the value 0. Some of the example for the hexadecimal constant which are 0x7f, 0x28, 0x521, etc. So 0x which are preceded by the value, then the number of hexadecimal constants are to be present here. Second type is floating point constant. Floating point constants are also a numeric constant that has either it is the fractional form or it is the exponential form. Some of the example for the floating point constants which are -2.60, 0.000234, -0.22 e minus 5. These are all the examples for the real constants or also called as a floating point constants. So real constant means real constant is a base 10 numbers which is represented in decimal or in the scientific or in the exponential notation. So real notation means the real notation which are represented by an integer followed by a decimal point and also the fractional part. It is possible to omit the digits before or after the decimal point. So examples which are 15.25, 0.75, 330 and -9.52. These are all the examples for the real notations. Here, the scientific and also the exponential notation in the real constants which are the general form of a scientific and exponential notation is that mantissa space e space exponent. So here are the examples. So where mantissa is an either it is a real or a floating point numbers which are expressed in the decimal notations or an integer and also the exponent is an integer number with an optional sign. The character E which are separating the mantissa and also the exponent. This can be written in either it is lowercase letter or it is an uppercase letter. So these are all the examples. So 1.5, this is a mantissa. E for the E letter which are separating the mantissa and also the exponent. And the exponent form here is that -2 in the example 1. So same as like that 100 it is a mantissa. E it is an symbol plus 3 it is an exponent. So these are all the example for the scientific and also the exponential notation. Third is the character constant. So character means what? So character it is an any single character, either it is alphabet or it is a digit or it is any special character. It can be enclosed within single quotation mark. So this is, we can call it as character constant. So here there are the two important quotes in the character constants. So it is a value is represented in the single quotation mark, and the maximum length of a character constant, it can be only a one character. So valid characters which are small letter a, which are represented in the single quotes. So invalid character, that is a 12, which are represented in double quotes. So capital letter A, this is a valid character constant. AB, which are represented in double quotes, this is an invalid character constant. Then we move on to the next slide here, the string constant. So what is string? A string is a string constant is a sequence of character can be enclosed within double quotes. The character may be either it is letters, or it is a numbers, or it's any special character, or it is in a blank spaces. So basically a string is a sequence of character can be enclosed within the double quotation mark. So here are some of the examples. Rama, A plus 1 2 3 and 1 minus slash E. These are all the strings can be enclosed within the double quotation mark. So and the one more example which is good. So good is also a sequence of character can be enclosed within double quotation mark. The next example, only a blank spaces, so which is enclosed within the double quotation mark, so that null string constant. So that the next example is the string constant of an 6 white spaces only. Then the next example, x, which is enclosed within double quotation mark. The next example is earth is round slash n. It prints the string with the new line character. So escape characters or a backslash constants or backslash characters. So here are some of the examples for the backslash characters, which are slash n, it is represented as a new line. Slash r are represented as a carriage return. Slash t is represented as a tab. Slash v is represented as a vertical tab. Slash b is represented as a backspaces. Slash f is represented as a form feed or a page feed. Slash a is represented as a beep sound. Slash double quotes is represented as a slash single quote is represented as a the single quotes. Slash double quote is represented as a double quote. Slash question mark is represented as a question mark symbol. Double slash is represented as a backslash character constant. So there are two ways for defining the constants in the C programming. There are two ways, which are const keyword and also hash defined preprocessor statement. The first thing is that C const keyword. The const is a keyword is used to define the constant in our C programming. So for example here, const space float pi value, which is equal to 3.14. This keyword which are used in our C programming. Now the value of the pi variable, it cannot be changed during our execution of the program. Here hash include yesterday ivo.h, it is a preprocessor statement which include the standard input output statements in our C program. Second statement is hash include conio.h, the conio which means that console input output. So in our program you have to using the CLR, SCR and also the guest CH. These two are some of the functions which are including the conio.h header file. Void main. Every C and C++ program execution must be starts with this main function. Then opening flower bracket. Then the next statement is const float pi equal to 3.14. So const is a keyword, float is a data type, pi it is a constant which is equal to 3.14. CLR SCR is a function which is used for the clearing the screen. Printf, it is a outputting statement. So within a double quotes, we have to mentioning the some statements that are the value of pi is with the format specify percentage %f, comma pi, it is a variable used in our program. So getch, it is a functions which is included in our laconia.h header file, then ending with the flower bracket. In the second way to defining the constant here, see as defined preprocessor statement. As defined preprocessor statement is also used to define a constant. As define is a preprocessor directive is used to define the character constants or a micro substitutions in our C program. It can use any basic data type. For example, the syntax is that hash define token and the value. Hash define token space value. So let's see an example of this hash define preprocessor statement. Hash include stdio.h, it's a header file which are used in our C programming. Hash define pi space 3.142. This is the syntax of an hash defined preprocessor statement. As defined space pi, it is a token, and 3.14, it is the value of this token. Then main function, then print the statement, then ending with the closing with the flower bracket. So here the output of this simple program, it is a 3.14. So thank you. If you watch my videos, please do subscribe to my channel and click on bell icon for the notification of the new videos. Thank you so much.